Good evening, everyone. Today, July 11, 2023, at 6 p.m., I call for order. Please join me. Raise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Aliaga.
Here.
Clerk Newbeck here. Treasurer Brown.
Here.
Trustee Morocco.
Here.
Trustee Nalamothu. Here. Trustee Ritchie.
Here.
And Trustee Stolian.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Good. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Board and public announcement. Any board members or individuals in the audience who would like to make a statement containing information about a recent or coming event? Any board members? Paul?
I just want to comment, and the board will have seen in the packet, we're approving ACH payments. As part of the check run, I want to really give some congratulations to the finance department, accounts payable, Sherry, Linda, Cheryl. They did a great job. We are really trying to get away from writing paper checks. I know we've had several instances in the past couple months where checks were intercepted and someone tried to put through, checks and steal from us, and we were able to handle those. Getting away from those is the best thing to do, and we're actually collecting all that information from our vendors now, and we'll be paying via ACH versus paper checks, so it's going to make us a lot more secure.
Good.
Thanks, Paul.
Anyone else? Trustee Nalamatu?
I just want to say kudos to everybody who was involved in Independence Fest, the fireworks, the parade, all that stuff. I think a lot of people in town had a great time at all those events.
Agreed.
All the
Yeah.
workers that,
Yeah.
all the people from the township that worked too. So.
Yeah, and volunteers and everybody.
True. Trustee Ritchie?
I was
Oh.
going to say the same thing. So.
Oh, okay. That's right. That was really nice.
Nice doing your conference.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure they got recognized. So.
Okay, moving along. Is no anyone in the audience would like to address to the board? Okay. Anyone online? Okay. Public comments? Okay. Anyone, any other? Anyone? Okay. We don't have a public hearing today. We don't have a presentation and reports. Consent agenda. Okay. What we have today is request to approve the Board of Trustees regular closed session minutes of June 20, 2023. 2, request to approve the July 5th, 2023 check run, including the ACH for $770,780.65, and ratify the June 23rd, 2023 payroll of $383,621.19. And 3, request to approve the 2023 budget amendment number 25, 2023, 2024 rates of sewage disposal services. So I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now, it's got regular business. Number 1, we have request to approve the. Oh, are you okay?
Excuse me.
Okay, Dave.
No, I
You're
just,
done. Yeah. Yeah.
no, I appreciate it. I just wanted to, just for complete transparency on the sewer rate, I just put together a couple slides really just to show you how the sewer rates are broken down. This is very important so everybody knows where the charge is going at. It's not an increase for us, to keep any money here. So essentially, really quick, the Great Lakes Water Authority and the Oakland County Water Resource Commissioners set the rates for sewage disposal. Sewage disposal rates are from July 1 of each year, and they turn to June 30th of the following year. I really haven't figured out why that's their rate year, but that's what it is. So, the rates are going to be increasing quite a bit this year. It's a 7.5% increase over last year, And the reason for that is their costs have gone up. They pass it on to all the CVTs that are provided services by the Great Lakes Water Authority and the WRC. So if you look real quick on the behind there, on the slides that we got here, this is an increase in 7.5% over last year. And here's how we broke down the charges. Sewage disposal fee is now $294,108 a month. That's what we pay a month for sewage disposal fee for Independence Township. Second, there's a true-up charge of $8,892. That's a reallocation of debt that's been on the books for eons on there. And that is our share of that. Then the bond debt. Bond debt is all the bonds that the Water Resource Commission pulls to make system improvements to the Clinton-Oakland system and the Oakland-Macomb system. This is where all the big pipe that goes from, essentially starts here in Independence and ends up in Detroit. They're doing millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of work on that. And next year, I just want to give the boards a heads up right now, the bond debt for next year is going to be in excess of $100 million. They got the pedal to the metal on that. We've complained a little bit about it. Most of the CVTs, it is going to be, it might be brutal next year. So our monthly total that we have to pay is $339,567 to cover all our debt on that. For sewage disposal, true up, and the current bond debt that is right now. If you times that by 12, our yearly is $4,074,804. That's what we pay. Moving on there to our obligation costs, we divide it by number of REUs, and this is how we come up with the new rate. We have 11,785 REUs. That includes the village of Clarkston. It's a combination of both REUs. So the yearly cost per REU, when you break it down, is $346 divided by 4 billing quarters, a quarterly REU charge.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's
you,
all right.
But for those at home, can you explain what an REU is?
I'm sorry, sure. An
Thank you.
REU is a residential equivalent unit, which is based on Oakland County's residential equivalent unit. In Independence Township, a single-family home is 1. There's nothing less than 1. But if you have a car wash, or you have a senior facility, or a big apartment complexes, you're gonna have multiple REUs because they put more sewage into the system. That is what it's based on. So example, a car wash might have 12 or 20. And so their rate would be 20 times the new rate right here. So their bills, it's gonna go up. So if we break it down right here, our new quarterly REU charge is $86.50. It was $80.14 from last year. So we put $28 on there to keep at home. We haven't changed that in the 9 years I've been here. This has always been a pass-through, and the rates go up. And when they raise the rates, we do our best to not increase ours. It'd be nice to keep $1 here at home. So we have funding to improve our system, but development helps out quite a bit with capital improvement charges and things like that. But we haven't raised that in the 9.5 years I've been here. So our new quarterly REU rate is $114.50. And it's going up to $114.50. It was $108.32. It is now $114.50. So a single-family home, which is 1 REU, will see an increase in their quarterly sewage bill of $6.18. So I just wanted to the new approved rate will begin effective third quarter, billing starting July 16th. So just wanted to pass on, just break that down. In the board packet, you see that we did get board approval back in I can't remember what it was. It was 2015 or 2016 that these rates pass through. This is just a pass-through charge. This is not increasing anything that we keep at home. This is just passing through. We change the rates, figure out the bond debt, what all we're doing with bond, how much we owe for each bond debt. And Rick's gone through the numbers 4 or 5 times for me on this, and this is our number that we come up with right now. So if we were to change the rates, or change that $28 that we want to keep home here, I would come to the board to look for approval for that if we wanted to increase that, but we haven't. We've been trying to keep our belt tight and keep the costs down as much as possible, because but there's going to come a time when we're going to have to come in front of the board to try to keep a raise for a couple bucks to keep here at home. So that's really it right there. I wanted to make sure that that board members were aware of how it was broke down. Paul?
Just a quick request. We do have some new board members. Could you send to the board, don't need it now, the REU calculation listings? I know we follow a lot of stuff, obviously, that the county does, but we've also you've also set things that some of those are different, so we have our own model. I think that'd be a good thing to share with each board member.
Sure.
just so they could read through and understand how we charge restaurants or car washes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we before I came here, and I think, Paul, you were here, and Ron, and maybe Jose were here, we changed the REU to a minimum of one. That was in 2014, it was before I came here, but that was a big bonus. It really helped out. It was the least painful thing to do at the time. But sewage business is super expensive, and these rates, you know, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it publicly, but when, you know, entities who have control over what project's are not writing checks for it to pay for it, they go for it. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, they're not good stewards of the money. I wanna make that really clear. WRC is very good stewards of the money, but these projects are multi-million-dollar projects, and they spread the pain across everybody that benefits from the Clinton, Oakland, and the Oakland Macomb sewer interceptors. So that's a great idea, Paul. I'll do that.
Karen?
I appreciated the breakdown. I thought it might be a good idea to put that in the next edition of Township Times, since the rates are gonna be increased, and so the residents will have and maybe something we put on the website too, maybe one of those slides as a,
Okay.
Maybe
I'm
a
also,
Source
little
of
map that
reference.
shows where it's going.
so we know, I'm not sure, for the benefit of the new board members, I said this includes the city of the village, okay? We charge them the sewage disposal fee of, ours went up to $86, as you saw on the slide right there. We charge them $86 every quarter for how many REUs they have. They still have their own sewer system, or should say, they still operate and bill, you know, exclusively for sewer. We do not bill sewer for the village. We bill water only. We're working on that. We're talking internally with the village. They want us to do it all. It might I think it's gonna benefit the residents of the village, but right now, you know, we put $28 on top of it. They put a lot more. I'm not sure what they do with it, but, you know, since we operate everything, but we do bill them, so we get our money for those RUs, so.
I had a question about that. So recently, people that were on Independence Township sewer but lived in Waterford
Mhm.
used to pay it through Waterford like used to pay a Waterford water bill, and now they're paying an Independence Township water bill. Did
Okay.
we bill for stuff on our line even though it's across the line?
Well, the old way that was going on, if you were a Independence customer or Independence resident and you were on Waterford sewer, they bill their flow-based billing. So we would provide, and they would be on our water, or they would flat rate them. So they would have their own rates, so you would have to pay their rates. Okay? And vice versa.
But did something change recently to
Yeah,
that?
we changed that now to
Okay.
where, you know, but we would collect the money, then have to give it to Waterford.
Right.
And all that, and, you know. And what we did is if you're living in Independence, your house is in Independence, but your sewer and or water is connected to Waterford's, you are their customer. They bill you, you know, we don't bill them at all anymore. Because it was just
Because that goes backwards too, though, right? Same-
it's reciprocal. And we don't kick it. It's the same rates. Our residents are charged the same rates as Independent, or as Waterford residents are. They don't put a kicker on it or nothing, and we reciprocate with that as well. So
Okay.
we cleaned up there were several intergovernmental agreements that went back to '79, I think. And, you know, it's a mess. When you have 4 or 5 different intergovernmental agreements with amendments to each one, Dan knows, he helped me, you know, a lot to clean that up. So, Dan, I think I explained that pretty clear?
Very good.
Okay, so, yeah, so we reciprocate with them. We don't charge their residents anymore who connected our utilities, and we don't, and they don't do ours. It's unfortunate, but I'm afraid next year's got me nervous, so.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thanks.
That's for the consent agenda, right? That was already-
No, this is regular business.
I'll make a motion if you want.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the fee schedule per resolution number 2023-011 submitted by the Department of Public Works for fiscal year 2023 for the DWSRF project as presented with the expiration date of 1 year after the notification of substantial completion of project. Is that
Support.
correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Substantial completion of the, yes. Okay, motion has made by trustee Ritchie and seconded by clerk Newbeck. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Two. President Brandt, Marshall, Chief.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Greg, I'm the fire marshal, for those who don't know me. I'm here to talk about the changes and updates to our burn ordinance regarding eliminating the permit process. We feel that it's an inadequate, program. We constantly are always looking at ways to improve our inefficiencies. We look at our department all the time to try to improve in areas where need to be improved. And one of those areas is just the general permit for the public. It's an inconvenience to them at times. It's becoming an inconvenience to us as well for trying to keep up the website that we provide for the public. One of the things that we do is when you're a resident and you want to get a permit, you can come to the fire station. We can help you get one, or you can go on the internet and get one through that way. What we're finding, with the public, and I get phone calls occasionally from residents that are frustrated, is that we're not at the fire station. We're a busier department than we used to be. We're not readily available to the public like we used to be. The other problem that we're running to is maintaining the website. For whatever reason, it will go down. I'll get other phone calls from frustrated residents trying to get a permit. We're really just trying to make it convenient for the residents. The permit itself doesn't really do anything. We don't keep the data. We don't really use it. It's just more or less a piece of paper that the township residents have. We have other areas of software where we do keep all that record in our reporting software. So the permit process itself is just kind of, I don't know, it's antiquated. Let's just say that. So it doesn't generate any fees. There's nothing inspection-wise it generates. So it just doesn't do anything for us in general. So we're proposing to just eliminate it from the ordinance and make it just convenient for the residents just to have the ability to burn without needing a permit. But does not change the fact on how we respond to these calls. We still will go on these calls. We'll still enforce the ordinance. Nothing else is going to change other than just the requirements to have a permit. Yes, sir.
Same scheduled burn days for less than 3 acre parcels? Is there specific burn days? of
Yeah,
the
there's
month?
designated burn days. There's 8 days a month where residents that have under 3 acres can burn. That's not going to change. Nothing's going to change for those who have more than 3 acres. We're not proposing any other changes to the ordinance. We just want to make it convenient for the public, Having a permit never really guarantees that anybody's actually going to follow the rules. It doesn't really help us. Yeah, go ahead.
Paul?
I used to think years ago that somehow if I had a permit and someone called and said, hey, there's someone burning over there, that somehow that influenced the fire department's decision, right? And I learned, I think, that it doesn't matter. So even if you knew someone had a permit, if somebody called and said, hey, the fire's too big, you guys go every time
Correct.
the call's made.
Correct.
So this doesn't change any of that. And that's just something I used to think of years ago and started throwing that out there.
The permit system has been around longer than I've been here. I've been here since 1999, so I don't know why the permit system was put in place. Maybe it was a reason for getting somebody the copy of the rules. But with the internet now, we have all that stuff posted on our website that anybody can go to and look up the rules. They can get the calendar for the burn days as well. So we just feel like it's just not a necessary thing to continue with, and just making, like I said, making it more convenient.
Exactly. Back in the day, probably, we're talking about when they probably copy and paste on, or whoever, they did that for a reason. Back in the day, they didn't have internet, back in the
Right.
80s or something. It makes sense maybe to have a piece of paper, but now in those days, now they have internet, it's easy to look the information, everything.
Correct.
Right, correct.
And for those residents that probably don't have internet access, we're willing to put on some kind of a campaign information. We'll throw something in the paper, we'll put the rules there.
Right.
We'll do something to try to accommodate those residents as well. But we just think this is a positive thing for the residents. So,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
So
Trustee Marco.
really the only thing I thought that one of the benefits was that it would outline like the burn days, on the permit, or when people kind of gave them the schedule that was allowed. So I'm all for getting rid of the paperwork for
Yeah.
the same purpose. I think that, like we've mentioned,
Right.
plan on as fall gets closer to put in the township times, maybe the burn day schedule or something like that, as a, because, the people aren't gonna go look at, I wouldn't think to look online to see what days I can burn. I would just think that, unless somebody complains, you can burn. But
Right.
we do have certain, in the denser areas, I think it's good to consolidate to the 8 days. I don't burn leaves, but people that do, so just, keep that in mind as fall gets here, that we wanna maybe, help you by limiting that to the, letting them know what the days are, post that calendar, because it really falls when the biggest issue is gonna happen.
That's a great
It's not
idea.
gonna be now,
yeah, we'll do that. That's a great idea. We'll post, usually 2 times a year is the biggest burn, in spring and fall. So we can do it twice a year, just to get that out there to the residents so they know the rules and they know the days. And
Put it on the township homepage as well, too. Sometimes people go to the township page instead of the fire department page.
That's a very good idea. Yeah, and you guys do a great job on Facebook. You have your own
thank you.
page, so that will help. So, all right. Any other question from board members? Okay. All right.
I'll make a
Anyone would like to-
motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of the amendments to Independence Charter Township Fire Prevention and Protection Ordinance, Article 3, Chapter 20, Section 56-59, and direct the township clerk to publish said ordinance in accordance with state law, and hereby set the second reading of said ordinance amendment for the next available Board of Trustees meeting.
Support.
So, okay. This is a roll call, right?
It is.
Yes. Okay.
Clerk Newbeck, yes. Treasurer Brown?
Yes?
Trustee Morocco?
Yes.
Trustee Nalamothu?
Yes.
Trustee Ritchie?
Yes.
Trustee Stoyan?
Yes.
And Supervisor Aliaga.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you. Next. Lisa?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey.
At the February 7th Board of Trustees meeting, the board approved the agreement between Oakland County and our Senior Community Center for the distribution of ARPA funds in the amount of $231,458,038. Since that was approved, the county has amended that agreement with some slight changes, and they've also asked for a resolution accepting the funds. So tonight, I'm here to ask for you to approve the amendment and adopt the resolution. We also realized that legal had not reviewed the contract or the agreement back in February, so we thought it would be a good idea to also send it out for review from the Kelly firm. Brittany provided a response that you saw in your packet, and in summary, the amendment basically deletes a general provision from the agreement that the township agrees to comply with reporting requirements set forth by the county and under federal law, and it now includes a more specific provision stating that the township will comply with all federal requirements for the award of this grant. The amendment also clarifies that the township is the grantee of the ARPA monies and must comply with the requirements under both the agreement and federal law. So she did a good job of explaining that in layman terms, I guess you could say. But it doesn't seem to affect, it does not affect the amount of funds receiving, just how we're reporting, and that was detailed out in her review.
Any questions? Trustee Rich?
Well, Carrie, that was also listed in our audit, wasn't it, that, you know, we had to track how we spend the funds and everything. I mean, so I don't think it really changes us.
No,
It's just make sure we document and follow the rules.
I think it's just
So,
more procedural. I
Right.
think they were
Correct.
tightening up the procedures.
It's something we've already talked about in our putting in place
Mhm.
the parameters to make sure we document everything correctly, so.
Yeah. And you'll probably see me one more time on the same topic in the coming months, because working with our budget analysis and making sure we'll have to have an amendment on the funds, where we're gonna put the money when it comes in from the county and to where we're spending the money out of. We'll package that out nicely and bring it for approval.
Any other questions? Board members? No? All right. Anyone from the public? Okay. I need a motion.
I'll move to adopt resolution number 2023-010 to approve Amendment 1 to the agreement for local fiscal recovery fund distribution between Oakland County and Independence Township Senior Community Center, and formally accept the grant funding and authorize the township clerk to certify and file the same.
A second.
Okay, motion has made by trustee Ricci and seconded by trustee Alamato. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we have to move to closed session.
Yes. I'll make a motion to enter into closed session to discuss a confidential legal opinion pursuant to the Michigan Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.2681H and MCL 15.2431G regarding licensing process, and it is 6:27 PM.
Board?
And it's roll call.
Roll call.
Treasurer Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Morocco,
Yes.
Trustee Nalamothu,
Yes.
Trustee Ritchie,
Yes.
Trustee Stoyan,
Yes.
Supervisor Aliaga.
Yes.
And Clerk Newbeck, yes. Motion carried.
back in session at 6:54 PM.
I'll make a motion to resume the regular meeting.
Support?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. All right, I have communications and for future agendas items. Reports, Independence Fire Department monthly report, March 2023. 2, Building Department monthly report, May 2023. 3rd, Building Department monthly report, June 2024. Number 4 is Information Technology Oversight Committee minutes on May 2023. And 5th, Safety Path Advisory Committee minutes on May 2023. Board member comments. Sam?
I'll make, if anyone's still listening. Friday, concerts in the park, Depot Park, Preservation Clarkston, and the Construction Tech Program through the high school are hosting the concession stand fundraiser at the Elvis Impersonator Show. Supposed to be the biggest show of the summer. Should be a good time. I think it's from 5 to, or 7 to 9. So I don't know what time it is. I think it starts at 7. Goes till we're done partying.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get there early and buy
Get-
concessions.
Get there early, buy some hot dogs.
Okay. Anyone else?
All right, move to adjourn.
Support.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay. You're.